Hi, my wonderful scholars. I'm so excited to be back with you today. Today we're doing things slightly different. We are not doing a lesson. We are going to review our exam. We're going to do a short review. But before we even do the review in our live class, I do want to talk to you about some test strategies. That these are going to help these strategies are going to help you for your third grade start, and then of course for your biweekly assessments and in your intermodule assessment when you complete the story part. It will also help you. I know we understand, Ms. Rodriguez and myself, that some of you might not have the story with you. You might not have it like printed. I know we're going to share it with you so you can print it from when you take your test. But if you don't, that's perfectly fine. You can just follow along as we're reading in our live lesson. But right now I'm just going to simply talk about some test strategies. So it is very important that you do have your thinking caps on, your ears are open, you're sitting like a STAR student, so you can listen very carefully to the strategies that will help you whenever you are taking any exam in second grade for Wit and Wisdom and, of course, for your third grade STAR. So let's get started. So what do you need today? Today you need to listen very carefully. It's very important that you are focusing on the listening goal of noticing the whole message, because today you are going to be getting a lot of information that's going to help you out. And it's not only, I just have to do all these strategies and stuff, but it's why do we have to do so many things? So you are doing this if you are able to print out your paper so that you can get that 100 and make sure that you are checking your work correctly. Like I mentioned, I do understand that you might not be able to print it out, and that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you are thinking of those strategies while you're taking the test, and of course listening to the instruction in our live lesson today. Okay. So reading the story. So the first thing when you get a exam, so this is the one that we're going to be talking about today. And when you are reading that exam, you do have to do some strategies that are going to help you understand that exam a lot better. So let's get started. Okay. So the first strategy that you are focusing on is circling the title. So you must circle the title and write what you predict. Make sure that you start with I predict because, okay? So you're doing a prediction. Ms. Alvarez, what is a prediction? I've never heard of that. So a prediction is an educated guess. You are giving Ms. Rodriguez and myself a guess of what you think this story will be about, okay? Then you do a small story walk if it does have a picture, and you see what that contains, okay? So, like we mentioned, the first step is circling the title. And we do a small prediction. I predict this story will be about a pencil because the title states a pencil. Okay. And then you can do the small story walk. If you see here, you can put I noticed pencils, right? Because that's what you notice there in that picture. Now let's go to step 2. Step 2. So now we are going to write pi. Pi? What's that? So pi is the author's purpose. You will predict it. Is it to persuade, to convince you, to inform, to give you facts, to entertain, to give you a story? So we're looking at the case of a missing pencil. It looks like it's a story to entertain. They're not giving me information about a non-fiction story, right? And the author doesn't look like he's trying to persuade me pencils. So I feel it's to entertain. Remember, it's a prediction. You do not have to have it right. Step 3, write F and NF. We will look at the title and the illustration one more time. We made a prediction of and we will make a prediction of what the text, or what type of text the story is. So basically, F stands for fiction. That means false, not true. And N stands for non-fiction. That means not false, true. So let's do that prediction. So we know that this book is to entertain. It's about a case of missing pencil. So I have a feeling that this is a fiction story. How can we determine that it's a fiction story? In the very first heading we have here, we have Emma and her lovely pencil. It has a character. When a story has characters, more than likely it will be a fiction story. Sometimes you will face like autobiographies or biographies where they're talking about an individual in history. Then you will determine that that's, a nonfiction when they're talking about an event of history. Right now we see no dates, we see no things that show us that it can be a nonfiction. So my prediction is fiction. Okay. Now, when you're talking about the type of text, you're also talking about the genre of the text. So this is something that you will do in 3rd grade. You will talk about the genre of the text. We talk about it in Winter Wisdom, but not as often as in 3rd grade. So you will talk about, like the genre of the text of being an informational text, like the one that we read of How Do You Know It's Fall? And then the genre of the text that it's a fiction when it has character, setting, and little information like that. Beginning, middle, and end, okay? So let's continue into our next step. Our next step is circle important words. So pay attention to this step. This step is when you are reading the story, you are going to be circling important words. So here's the trick. I'm not going to read the story right now. I'm going to read the story in our live session. Ms. Rodriguez will read the story in her live. So when she reads the story, she will be circling important words like the setting, the characters, the problem, the resolution, any words that help her with the meaning of underlined words, okay? That we feel that they're important words. You're not going reading that story and circling all words. No, you're going to read the story. You're going to look at the details to make sure that you're circling important words that make sense, okay? Our last part for reading the story is our main idea. And this part is my favorite part because I feel that this part really helps me with the questions. So you're going to prepare your paper to be able to be successful to write who the paragraph is about and what about it. Give me 1 second. Let me show you how this looks. This is our awesome paper. So we will basically make T-shirts on the side of the paragraphs. And you will write who and what. Of course, when you have the piece of paper. Right now, you are going to read the paragraph and question that in your head. Who is that paragraph about and what about it? Okay? Then you can see that this one's super short. I know I have told some of my students to just group them together. So I will put it on this side. Okay? Who and what? Okay? This is the main idea. We're looking for that main idea. Then you go to paragraph 4. Who and what? And you will do that to all the paragraphs. If you see these are very short. So you can group them together. Okay? That is for you to determine how you want to do it. Okay? Who and what? Then you can see this one. And you can group it to who and what. So you prepare all your paper to be successful for those awesome main idea after each paragraph. Now, why, Mrs. Alvarez? Why do we have to do this? You have to do this because it's going to help you understand the passage or the paragraphs to another level. So just like we get the main idea of sections of the book and we get the main idea of the whole text, now we're going to get main idea of sections of the story to help us understand the story better, to have that comprehension. And you will do it for all the paragraphs, okay? You will do for all the story, okay? Because when we're reading, after each paragraph that we read, I will, and Ms. Rodriguez will be asking, who is the paragraph about and what about the paragraph, okay? And remember, while you are reading, you're not just going to question yourself who and what, but you're also circling those important words that I mentioned, okay? Now we're going to go to the most exciting part, and that is answering the question. I love this part as well, because this is where you already, you already broke apart that story. You already did all your strategies, so you are ready to answer that questions. So let's get started with those. First, of course, you have to read the question. It is high importance that you read the question carefully. Pay attention to what is going on. Then, you're going to circle the question. Circle what the question is asking for. What do you mean, Ms. Alvarez? Is this question asking for a meaning? Is this question asking for main idea? Is this question asking for author's purpose? So whenever we get there in our life, we are going to question this and we're going to ask ourselves, what is this question asking for? And we will do that small discussion, okay? Then you're going to cross-eliminate. What do you mean? So you're going to look at the answer choices once you know what the question is asking for, because you already circled those important things. And you're going to read them carefully. So you're going to go A, maybe, B, no, C, maybe, D, no. So you'll depending on the question. So then you're between two answer choices and you decide for one. Make sure you circle it. In our test on Friday, it is going to be in the computer, so you are clicking the answer just like you do your exit tickets, okay? It's not going to be the same program as the Microsoft Forms, but you do have to click on that answer. Then you're going to write the paragraph and the line number. And when we are in our live session, I'm going to show you how we do that, okay? And this paragraph helps you know that the answer is right because you found it in the story. So you're going to go back to the story and find that answer in the story, and you're going to provide that paragraph number. This one is very important so that you are sure that that answer is actually in the story and you're not guessing. The last one, this is something that we always tell you guys, even when you're doing your exit tickets, double check your work before you even submit. Make sure that you are 100% sure that you're getting that 100. Okay, so double check your work. And these are just examples that I had for a reading group last year. So this is how your paper should look like once you are done with your test. So this is not the story that you are doing. If you check on the date, it says May 1st, 2020. So this is just an example of what I would do with students when they were doing their test. Okay, I know some of you don't have the ability to print, so we are going to ask you to think of the strategies while you are doing it. And if you want to write notes in your notebook, that is perfectly fine. You can see, then you can see my questions, how I circled the why, I underline what it was asking for. Then I'm looking for that paragraph and line number. Okay, I know that I need to put that on my paper. Okay. So good luck tomorrow. If I do not see all of you, I know I won't see Ms. Rodriguez and Ms. Bocanera students. So good luck, boys and girls. My class, we are going to be live, as well as Ms. Rodriguez is going to be live the whole hour tomorrow. So we are not going to have a recorded video tomorrow, but we will explain later on our live meeting, and we will let you know what is expected from you. Bye, boys and girls. Have a wonderful live session, reviewing for your bi-weekly assessment and learning about the strategies so you are ready for 3rd grade. Bye.